You know, I've said it before, I am crazy about baseball. There is nothing better than sitting in the bleachers, watching the game, and chowing down on ballpark food. But if you are watching the game at home, you can make your own stadium food and take it to a whole new level. Well, today I've got an all-star ballpark menu that'll turn your couch into box seats. And I'm throwing out that first pitch in under 30 minutes. Hey there, I'm Rachel Ray, and I make 30-minute meals. Now, that means in the time it takes you to watch this program, I'll have made a delicious, healthy meal from start to finish. Today, I'm making a menu that bats 1,000. I'm making chicken dogs with red slaw kraut. It's a red cabbage version of sauerkraut. And to go along with it, bacon and leek warm potato salad. How good does that sound? Okay, I'm going to start by preheating this big skillet here to make my special red slaw kraut in. I want to get that screaming hot. I'm going to grab this pot so I can get some water in it, but I'm also going to put on my broiler just on low for toasting up my hot dog buns. That's one of the first advantages to making your own ballpark food and watching the game at home. You get toasted buns. Okay, I'm going to put some water in that pot, get that going for some potatoes for the potato salad, obviously. I'm going to use 2 packages of chicken apple sausage. You can use any flavor you like, but remember, you want to get a chicken sausage that would match up to some red cabbage being on top of it. So I got 2 chicken apples going here. I got some center cut bacon. I'm going to grab that, some leeks for our potato salad, a little bit of celery and carrot for the same warm potato salad, and a nice big red cabbage for my slaw kraut. Down here, I'm going to grab a green apple to put into our tangy slaw kraut topper. And I'm going to grab my potatoes. I need some spices for my topping, my slaw kraut. First of all, I said I'm going to get the pan screaming hot, so I want some nice light oil. I'm going to use vegetable oil. Peanut oil, any light colored oil would be great. I'm also going to grab some nutmeg and some cumin and some grill seasoning. Let me see how I'm going to get this all up there. I need 4 potatoes so I could take 1 out. Let's stack some more spices in here. Let's get all that together. Put this right on top. And there we go. Excellent. Whew. Okay, let's go get that water off. And I'm going to take a little shortcut here, let the water get a head start on those potatoes, bring it up to a boil, pop a lid on her, and away we go. Okay, into my slaw kraut pan here. It's red slaw kraut. I don't want to call it sauerkraut because it doesn't have enough time to, pickle up. But this is just a terrific twist on ballpark franks with sauerkraut on top. I'm going to start by taking 1 green apple here. Now, don't be too fussy about this. You want to peel it up. Just get most of the peel, and that's fine. I like a nice tangy, tart green apple running through this topper. Just gives the red slaw, a little something extra going on. And I've often paired apples with chicken apple sausage. In fact, I'm using chicken apple sausage, so it'll just highlight that flavor. So now we can get the big knife going here. I actually did throw out the first pitch at a Red Sox game once. Highlight of my life, I'm telling you. Wow, was that fun. I made it from the plate, too. Jason Varitek caught. It wasn't any fastball or anything, but I thought it was pretty respectable. I'm such a big baseball fan. It's such big drama, In every pitch, there's success and failure. It's man on man and team on team. But I think it's even better sometimes to watch the games at home, depending on what park you're talking about. I'm not naming names, but some parks have really terrible food. Not naming names again, but I will tell you this. If you go to Yankee Stadium, you better pack your own relish and onions. They just don't offer them there. Anyway, I like Funway Park. They have some great sausage sandwiches outside, and I certainly love being in the park. But when you're at home, you can just get so creative. This whole thing is just a takeoff on, sauerkraut on a regular old dog. But it's going to taste anything but average. Now, my red cabbage here, I'm going to get everything all ready to go in the pan before I add the oil because it's really getting super hot over there. We're going to sear this cabbage up. It'll be a lot crunchier than sauerkraut. Just want to run my knife through it. It will wilt up enough, though, to top the dogs. And I just need enough here to top 8 dogs. So depending on the size of that head of cabbage you get. You can judge for yourself how much you need. I'm just about good to go here. I may do 3/4 and save a little bit of the cabbage, use it for some soup or something. Hey, and leftovers of this kraut, oh, they would make a terrific soup. I just cut into the cabbage on an angle to get that core out. Just run your knife through it and kind of shred her up. And now we're good to go. Now we'll put the oil in the bottom of the pan. I'm so used to saying EVOO, I almost said that. EVOO will be a little bit thick for this. See, even the thin oil is smoking up, and that's fine. That just means put something in here. Drop your cabbage and your apple in there and let it get working. Smells awesome. Really good stuff. There we go. Now to my back skillet here, I'm going to season this up in a second, but I want to preheat a little EVOO in a nonstick skillet to make our warm potato and leek salad in. So I'm going to add the oil to that, preheat it so it's nice and warm when I add my bacon. I'm going to season up my cabbage now with a little bit of nutmeg. Nutmeg is awesome with apples and onions and cabbage. So I'm going to get some of that going in here. Yeah, probably about a 1/4 teaspoon or so. And then I'm using some nice smoky cumin seed in here. Now, if you want a more, German tasting salad, you could use some caraway seed and a little bit of ground cumin. And if you don't have cumin seeds, you could certainly substitute a couple of teaspoons of ground cumin. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. And I'm going to get some grill seasoning going in there. And then I'm going to let that get working and get my onion going in there. Nice big red onion to mix up with that cabbage and apple. Awesome. You can see already this is going to be tasty plus colorful and just really helpful because we're using chicken sausages instead of hot dogs. And we're making this nice fresh all veggie topping for those dogs. It's actually a pretty figure-friendly meal. We are doing some potato salad, no big deal though. You know, we're mixing it up with lots of veggies. I'm going to add some celery and carrots even to the potato salad. So this is actually really fun. There we go. I'm going to give this a toss to get it working there. It's starting to sear up. And of course it'll wilt way down in the pan. All right, while that's working, let's get over here and get chopping some bacon to get into that nice hot oil. This is center cut bacon. You can get it at the butcher counter, or you'll find it packaged sometimes over near the rest of the bacon. I like it because it's super lean. The center cut. You don't have a lot of fat to drain off. Puts a nice, terrific flavor. And let's talk about the flavor in this salad. Bacon and leek, what a natural combo, right? Gonna get the bacon going on in the back there. Now I'm gonna get my potatoes peeled up, and you wanna thinly slice them, not diced for this potato salad. I gotta take a quick break. I'm just gonna peel up some potatoes and clean up a little bit in here. I'll meet you right back here for more killer ballpark food. Gonna knock it out of the park.